All right, welcome you all. Welcome. We got the video on Darrell Brooks. I'm gonna hop on Instagram and see if I can get it started. Okay, let's see if I can get my stuff set up. Here we go. Here we go. So you all can't really see it on YouTube, but I got a picture up on Instagram, and it basically has like a Black Lives Matter, I guess, march protest. Has a Juneteenth march protest. Has a welcome to Charlottesville, Virginia, and then it has Darrell Brooks. What's up, Agatis, Navi? And so I just want to say that if Darrell Brooks was white and he had ran through a Juneteenth parade, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris would be in the courtroom right now. If Darrell Brooks had a drove through a Juneteenth parade or drove through a Black Lives Matter march, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden would be in the courtroom right now. But because he's not white and because he murdered innocent white people, nobody cares. Nobody cares. If this had been a white person that ran through a crowd of black people, everybody would care. But you all are telling me that America's racist. How is America racist if America doesn't care about white people getting ran over and killed, but they care about black folks getting talked bad to? Not ran over. Not ran over. Talked bad to. The guy that drove through Charlottesville is talked about to this day. He killed one person and she was white. And he gets talked about to this day. And she only gets mentioned, and he only gets mentioned because they were he was quote unquote racist. What's up, Kareem and Brittany? What's up, Anthem Fox? What's up, Kenya? What's up, Lisa? So we can't keep saying America's racist if black people don't get negative press in America. Show me one outlet that shows black people in a negative light. Who? Tell me one outlet that shows black people in a negative light. Who? Nobody. They ain't even showing you the trial. What's up, the Ice Cold Wolf? What's up, Mika? They aren't even showing you the trial. So you can't keep saying America's racist if America doesn't care if white people are run over in a parade. We got to stop saying this. Stop saying black folks don't have a privilege. This man's trial is the best thing on TV right now, and nobody's talking about it. It is the best. His trial is the best thing on TV, and these news outlets or media outlets aren't even covering it. Why not? Because of black privilege. Because of black privilege. And black privilege is that when black folks do wrong, the media doesn't cover it. Juicy Smollett got found guilty and immediately he got out of jail. Why? The trial is on, I'm going to play it, but it's on, it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. It's on, the main thing it's been on is, it's called Law and something, Law and Crime Network. So you mean to tell me Law and Crime Network gets the bid for Darrell Brooks? But I can guarantee if Darrell Brooks was white and he ran over some black people, if he ran over 6 black people and injured 61, America would be in a frenzy, in an uproar. That is proof that there's a such thing as black privilege. Nobody cares about these white people that got killed in this parade. And one was a little boy. One lady got, it was so heartbreaking that a woman they showed on the camera had an outfit on with this hat and this little white jacket. That hat and white jacket was stuck in between his windshield and his hood. That means he hit her so hard, her jacket and her hat got stuck on his hood and his windshield. Nobody cares. Little boy got ran over. Nobody cares. And I saw the tape. He was stopping and running people over. Stopping, running people over, and nobody cares. If this man had ran through a Black Lives Matter, forget even hitting somebody. If he had sped through, he would have been in prison. If he had sped through a Black Lives Matter protest and didn't hit nobody, he would have got sent to prison for a hate crime. If he would have ran through a Juneteenth parade and didn't hit nobody, he would have been sent to prison for a hate crime. But the fact that he ran over white people on purpose, I'm not talking about accident, I'm talking about on purpose. He ran through and ran these people over, even killing an 8-year-old baby, and no black folks ain't even talking about it, not even outraged. Joe Biden didn't mention it. Kamala Harris ain't mentioned it. Nobody mentioned what this man did because he's black and they're white. That is the epitome of black privilege, where the media doesn't tell you anything that you do that's bad. The same black privilege you all see is the same thing the LGBTQs have. They don't get any negative press. I'm going to ask you all again, what media outlet is portraying black people in a negative light? Can someone please tell me? Who is making black people look bad on TV? Who? I'm not talking about what black folks are asking for. I'm not talking about no voting, no vucking. Who is making black folks look bad in the media? Nobody. 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 There was just a school shooter today, young, what you call black student, went in there and shot the school up. Ain't nobody saying nothing about it because he's black. What I'm telling you all is that is the epitome of black privilege. The media is saying we're not going to show any of the negative stuff that you all do. Juicy Smollett lied and had black celebrities defending him. Kyle Rittenhouse defended himself and everybody called him racist. The media called him racist. Ain't got no proof of him being racist. In fact, one of the guys that he killed was on camera calling people the N-word. And he was a child molester. And black folks defended him. So don't tell me nothing about no white privilege. I don't want to hear about white privilege. This case is proof, and this case is gold. This case is proof that there's a such thing as black privilege. Why is the media not covering this? Charlottesville, one person was murdered. And I'm not making light of it, but in Charlottesville, that's still talked about to this day as a racist attack. This dude plows through a parade and nobody says a word. And y'all don't think it's wrong. Y'all don't think it's bad. Y'all don't think it's terrible. Nobody's saying nothing. These should be outraged. These folks in every city where they said defund the police, in every city, the homicides went up. How ironic is it for all the BLM protest cities to go up in homicides? And guess who's getting killed? The same black men that BLM's making money off of. And nobody's upset. Nobody's outraged. I get tagged in all kind of stuff of white folks being racist. Let me tell you all something so you all understand what I'm saying. 90% of the wealth in America is owned by 10% of Americans. That means 90% of Americans are living off of 10% of the wealth. It is impossible for the average anybody to have privilege if 90% of the people are living off of 10% of the wealth. This whole privilege thing is a farce, and it doesn't even make economic sense. I just told you that 90% of the wealth in America is owned by 10% of Americans. That should destroy any notion of privilege. Most Americans live check to check. Most Americans don't have a savings. Most Americans won't pass our generational wealth. This is most Americans. This whole privilege thing is ridiculous. But I can tell you what is privileged. In today's age, Black people don't get any negative press in the media. None. None. There is no news outlet portraying Black people in a negative light except the Zeus Network. Go look up the Zeus Network. But guess what? Black folks like the Zeus Network, just like Black folks like BET. So the stuff that Black people like has Black folks looking bad, not white people. This is what Black folks want to do. Get up there and twerk and all that stuff. You know, put on a minstrel show, a modern day minstrel show. But I get called sellout. And y'all ain't never seen me do none of these folks do. These folks sell their soul. These folks get a check literally to lie to Black people. These folks that look just like you get a check to lie to you. Something I would never do. And you all celebrate them and praise them. And I keep telling you all, everybody talking about racism is working for the system. Nobody fighting against racism is not working for the system. You don't believe me? Just look who funds them. It's always a white liberal or white Jewish liberal that's funding them. Always. Racism itself is a moneymaker. It's a way to generate revenue and control. You said they blocking all your stuff right now? I don't know what that means. Well, they got to do what they got to do. I mean, it is what it is. I know one thing. Can't nobody tell me I'm lying. Because all your favorite woke people telling the truth, ain't nobody bothering them. All your woke people telling the truth, ain't nobody bothering them. Ain't nobody bothering them. But let's start with this trial real quick so we can hear some of his closing arguments. And then I'm going to go over some of the clips from the trial. But, you know, this trial is gold. I mean, it's gold. Let's watch.
Good afternoon. It's been a long day. First off, I'd just like to start by letting you guys know that it's a lot of information that you guys should be privy to, I believe. And one thing that I believe that you have not been privy to is the truth of your rights and your duties, being the jury. The fact that you and you alone have the power, not well-prepared DAs with well-prepared and clearly rehearsed speeches and exhibits and a lot of theatrics. Frankly, not the judge. You and you alone have the power. You and you alone decide what is truth and what isn't truth. You should be informed that you have the power to nullify any law that you don't agree with.
Objection. Move to strike this statement.
Sustained.
Objection.
I will strike from the record the last statement made by the defendant. The jury will disregard it.
Which is clearly what I've been saying.
Imagine killing 6 innocent people and you want to get off. like the audacity of killing 6 innocent people and injuring 61, and you want to go off. I mean, get off. This dude wanted it to be declared a mistrial. Listen to me. This guy wanted to get off scot-free after he killed 6 people and ran over 61. He wanted to get off. This is the mindset they're giving black people. This is what happens when you hide the truth. You make folks feel entitled. This man wants to get off completely. Imagine you running over people and you want to get off in court, trying to cite all this stuff by what the judge is supposed to do, the Constitution and all this stuff, all that legal jargon, all that color of law stuff, all that black code stuff, all that stuff is for the unaccountable. Because there's no way on God's green earth you'll be doing something and you're wrong and you try to get off and tell me you're a good person. This trial should have never made it. This trial should have never made it. He should have said, I'm wrong. I throw myself on the mercy of the court. This trial should have never made it. But it only made it this far because he's a coward. This trial should have never made it. Most of these men out here, all they got to do is say, it's my fault. I was wrong. And that actually gives hope to the people. That's why we can look up to. We can't look up to this. We can't look up to these cowards. And that's all there's, a bunch of cowards. This man should have said, I'm wrong. I throw myself on the mercy of the court. May God bless his family. Give me my punishment. But instead, he's a coward. He wants to try to wiggle and worm his way through the system. You didn't do this right, so I should get off. What kind of coward move is that? Most of these folks talking about all this law stuff and all that stuff, they got poor character. Because most black folks that do this kind of stuff are trying to avoid punishment. I told you. The black folks go to court trying to avoid punishment. The white folks go to court trying to win the case. 2 separate approaches. 2 separate approaches. He's trying to not be punished. He ain't trying to win the case. He's trying to not be punished. You're going to hear him, though. But guess what? Only a privileged person could talk like this. Only a privileged person could have the audacity to run over 6 people, kill them, and then injure 61, and then go to court and say it needs to be thrown out because something was wrong with my car. Let's continue.
I believe that not only is it fair, but it's
Mr. Brooks, move on.
this is information that, and yet they say disregard, utter disregard for human life. They made reference to a rage, as if they were, or if this particular DA was right there, standing right there, as if this DA is a psychiatrist. I said to myself, with rage, what do you mean rage? How can you characterize that? How can you have the audacity to diagnose what someone's brain is, where it's at, what it's thinking, why it thinks the way it does?
When people argue semantics, Instagram's not working. Instagram's not working. All right, let me cut out. Hold on. Let me try to do it again. Okay, I went out and came back in. I was the second person that mentioned it. So I'm back on Instagram. But anybody does a semantics argument is a person of low character, because the purpose of the semantics argument is to not focus on the truth of the matter. Is to focus on the semantics. You're trying to find a loophole. And again, most of the folks that talk about all these laws and stuff plan on being in violation of them. They talk about know your rights and all this stuff. Know your rights is BS. I don't concern myself with no rights because I'm not ever in violation. I live my life. Pray to God. But this man right here wanted the trial to be thrown out, and he done killed 6 people and ran over and hit 61. Let's continue.
DA makes references to blocks of no one being injured, but then says it's intentional. You add that up with the supposed rage, the supposed intent to harm and kill, and it doesn't kick in until well within blocks. And maybe it's just me, but I would think if I was characterized as someone with this intent to kill and this rage and this anger, then why weren't people immediately harmed? Why would someone with intent to kill and rage try to alert people of their presence, repeatedly honk their horn? You heard a detective, if you recall, testify that the vehicle that he observed was not only honking his horn, but was not speeding. So where did
So again, yeah, he killed 6 people, and he he injured 61. So I want to go to, and again, if it was an accident, why didn't he turn himself in? Yeah, he didn't like his lawyer, so he fired his lawyer, and he's his own attorney. So yeah, he's defending himself. And his goal was to make it a mistrial, because he figured since he was in talking to some people in jail that quote unquote got a mastery of the law. It's funny that all them folks in prison know the law inside out, but yet they keep getting locked up. So what's going on? All these folks with all this information somehow keep finding themselves locked up in prison. So clearly this stuff don't work. You know why it don't work? Because they're wrong. This stuff only works when you're right. These people are wrong. The media got black folks believing that most black folks in prison and jail are innocent. That's a lie. 99.9% of folks in prison or jail are guilty. No question. They're guilty. I ask black folks, how many folks y'all think in prison, unjustly? Oh, I don't know, about 40, 50%, 60%. You ought to hear the numbers. I don't know anybody in my life that went to jail or prison and that was innocent. Not none. Zero. I don't know any. Y'all might know them. I don't. And if it is a big deal, then why don't all these celebrities that want to get folks out of prison, why don't they focus on the innocent? You ever notice how when they want to get folks out of prison, it's always the folks that's guilty? They always want to get the folks out of prison that actually did it and never the folks that didn't do it. Why is there so much emphasis on the folks that actually committed the crime, confessed to committing the crime? They want to get them out, but y'all telling me it's a bunch of folks in there doing 30 years and they're innocent. I don't believe it. It does happen. The system ain't foolproof, but for the most part, the system works. It works because the folks that's cutting up is getting locked up. Now, again, if the system is stacked against you, black people, then stop doing crime. If nothing's in your favor, everybody's against you, white supremacy, racist judicial system, all this stuff, then stop doing crime. If you're doing crime, you're telling me you don't care about the consequences. You don't care about it being unfair. And there are a bunch of white folks in prison, I might add. Let me find a clip. Hold on. There was a clip when he was on the porch. And then I heard him trying to use words like, I wasn't driving, I was traveling. Just try to use all that little slick jargon, man, but it don't work when you're wrong. It don't work when you're wrong. Now, he didn't told the police in the interrogation room that he basically was asking the guy to call Uber for him.
Extraordinary ring camera video.
Now the message on this thing was this information was deemed as bad for YouTube. So why would information, just like you can't use the hashtag, like on TikTok, you can't use the hashtag red pill, you can't use the hashtag truther. Why would TikTok ban the hashtag red pill and truther? Why? YouTube gave me so many messages when I was looking up stuff on George Floyd, like actual footage of George Floyd doing stuff. It was like, this is sensitive content. It's not, you shouldn't listen. You want to listen, like all these disclaimers. The same thing with this one. Now, why would there be a disclaimer on this man on the porch? I'll tell you why. Because the media doesn't show black people in a negative light. I keep telling y'all this. It's called black privilege. If this was a white guy, this stuff would be everywhere. If a white man had driven his car through a Black Lives Matter march or a Juneteenth parade, it would have Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, Maxine Waters and Pelosi, AOC, all of them would have been sitting in the front row of this trial. All of them. Let's continue.
Shows Darrell Brooks. Camera video shows Darrell Brooks coming to a random house after abandoning his SUV. He doesn't have a coat on and he's shivering.
I called an Uber and I'm supposed to be waiting for it over here, but I don't know when it's coming. Can you call it for me, please?
The homeowner, Dan Ryder, actually lets him in and even gives him a sandwich.
Thinking he's homeless, I get him a ham sandwich and give him.
Now, y'all told me that America was racist. Y'all told me that the white folks was hunting down the black people. Y'all told me the white folks wasn't all this. And you mean to tell me that this white guy invites him in the house, fixes him a sandwich, lets him use the phone? Y'all told me the white folks was racist. Is this similar to a Quaker and Darrell Brooks is fleeing from slavery? He's on the run and he stopped by the Quaker's house to get inside and be safe. Is this what it's about? You mean to tell me the white man helped him? Let's continue.
Him a ham sandwich, and he's sitting here on my phone pretty much the whole time talking to his mom.
What was he saying to his mom?
A lot of it I couldn't understand, to be honest. He is yelling, and I heard mama a lot.
After growing suspicious, he escorted Brooks outside.
I said, I saw a squad car go by. I'm not comfortable. I need you to leave. And he listened to me. He said, okay. And you can see this is the next video of the ring of me opening the door, and he's wearing this jacket right here. This is the jacket I gave him.
A neighbor saw them and called 911.
I knew something was out of the ordinary and not right, so I immediately.
Now, when the white man told him to leave, he did what the white man said do. The white man told him to leave, and he said he listened to me. Okay. He listened to the white man. Okay. Now now listen, he making songs about killing black people. He's pimping on young underage girls, getting them pregnant, beating on them. All this to his own people, but the white man say it's time for you to go, and he says, yes, sir, and walks out. Yes, sir. Thank you for the sandwich, sir. But y'all ain't discussed it, though.
Went up my driveway and called 911.
And what did you say?
I said, the man that you're looking for in Waukesha is at my neighbor's house.
Brooks is still on the porch when police corner him.
Whoa.
Then they question the homeowner.
Hey, do you know this guy? Absolutely not.
To me, this was a clear point to help somebody who I thought was homeless and needed help.
And we're learning more about the victims of the massacre. 3 of the dead were members of the Dancing Grannies troupe. 52-year-old Tammy Duran posed for this photo minutes before the parade. It was her first public performance with the Dancing Grannies. I spoke with Dancing Granny Sharon.
It showed 5 people in that picture, but the 6th person was a little 8-year-old boy. Now imagine this is your first time being a dancing granny and somebody run you over and kill you. This is horrific. This should be national outrage and nobody cares because they're white. Because he's black and they're white, nobody cares. That is a problem moving forward. And people keep falling for it because all of this stuff is a character issue. So in other words, if you don't demand justice for everybody, then you're going to be the one to promote injustice. That's how it works. All the stuff they're doing is setting people up for the slaughter. Let's continue.
Describe how you were going down the hill.
Walking down the hill.
And how was he going down the hill?
Driving.
The red Ford Escape?
Yes.
Okay. What happened next?
He just followed me all the way to the park.
Okay.
He tried to take my phone from me at the light going down the hill, and he just kept following me and arguing with me out the window.
Do you recall being near a gas station while this argument was happening?
Yes.
Objection irrelevant.
Yes.
Hold on. Overruled, she may answer, and the answer she provided may stand.
Yes. It was right at the light. The gas station on the, oh, that's a gas station on the left, and then Walgreens is towards the right.
And do you remember what was being said at the gas station?
I do not remember.
What happened when you got past the gas station?
I kept walking, and he was still following me.
Did you at any point attempt to contact anybody for help?
No, just Corey, but towards the frame park. That's when I called her, when I got closer to there.
Did she answer?
Yes.
What did you say?
I said, he just hit me, and I said, I need you to meet me. And that's when she met me.
Where did you go?
I walked past Frame Park, and I went, I met Corey, and I got into his car and then got back out, and I met Corey at White Rock School, I believe it is.
When you say his car, you're talking about who?
Darrell Brooks.
And were you familiar with White Rock School at the time? Did you ever
No.
been there before?
No.
You just know.
Now, remember what I said. Remember what I said. So in these cases, like Kyle Rittenhouse, in this case, these cases are highlighting what their goal is. In this case, this guy is literally he's a sex offender. He's a murderer. He beats on women. And he was let out of prison by the DA. He was let out of jail on $1,000 bond. This guy, he was already out on bail for 2 felonies, and the DA let him out. So what I'm telling you all is what they're doing is they're creating a scenario where you aren't going to be held accountable. But what's going to happen is you're going to do all this mayhem and chaos, and then you're going to run smack into the Chinese police or the UN troops or the federal troops. They're setting you up. They're setting you up. All this is on camera. Him getting into an altercation with her. Then when he leaves her, he's upset. He goes from leaving her in that car, and that's when he goes through the parade. And what I'm telling you all is what they're creating is Frankenstein, because they have Black people thinking they don't have to be accountable. And that's going to be a problem. This is all a setup. I'm telling you. They're going to flip this whole thing around on you, and they're going to have proof. When y'all out there kicking and screaming about you being treated unfairly, they're going to have proof. They're going to bring up all the data then. When they got y'all locked down in your house on your street with martial law, they're going to put out all the data and tell everybody how dangerous y'all really are. Then the truth's going to come out. But y'all going to be locked up, so it ain't going to matter. He done beat the, you can't see the image, but on Instagram they can see it. This dude done bust this girl lip and and shut one of her eyes. He done punched this girl in the face. And Black Girl Magic is silent on this. Could you imagine if a white guy beat up his baby mama, and then went and killed 6 people, do you think the media wouldn't say something? Let's continue.
That from
That's
talking about this
yes,
afterwards.
yes.
Any objections?
Yes, we haven't even played the video. How do we know what's even in the video at this point? Can we see the video before it is admitted into evidence?
Your objection is noted. The foundation has been laid. Exhibit 4 is received. And permission to publish is granted.
Can we also shut off the I think it's the Polycom system that's
Oh,
taking
yeah,
up
we
this
certainly
video?
can.
The video, we're not going to talk while it's playing, and then when it's paused, I'll ask you questions, okay?
Okay.
All right. Resume at 104. Let's pause. We've paused at 1 minute and 37 seconds. Ms. Patterson, who did we see in the video there walking?
Me.
Okay. And we saw a red SUV, right?
Yes.
Who was driving that SUV?
Darrell Brooks.
Was there anybody else in the vehicle at that point, to your knowledge?
No.
Okay. Let's resume playing. Okay, let's pause there. At 6 minutes and 3 seconds. Who got into the driver's seat at the end of that video?
Darrell Brooks.
And again, anybody in the vehicle at that point?
No.
Other than him?
No.
Let's resume playing from 6:03. Okay, let's pause there.
Back, and then that's when Mr. Brooks were.
Tell us what was happening during that portion of the video we just watched.
Corey and Mr. Brooks were arguing, and that's when he pushed her in her face, and I don't recall what she did back, and then that's when he drove off. One of them, I think it was Nick, called the police, and that's when he drove off.
You remember what Nick said when he called the police?
I believe Nick said he had a knife, if I recall, but he didn't have one, but that's what Nick said on the phone.
When you say he, who are you talking about?
Darrell Brooks.
And you didn't see Mr. Brooks with a knife that day?
No.
What about Nick? Did you see him with a knife?
No.
Did you have a knife?
No.
Corey?
No.
Why do you think Nick said to the police that there was a knife?
Probably to make them come faster.
Who got into the driver's seat at the end of that video?
Darrell Brooks.
And again, anybody in the vehicle at that point?
No.
Other than him?
No.
Let's resume playing from 6:03.
Sorry.
And where did you go? That's fair. Watch this
Sorry.
confusing.
I'm sorry. Because me and her started arguing after that because she was mad that I even met up with Mr. Brooks.
Okay.
And then she was running after me.
Do you know the direction that you were walking there?
So what's up, Broken Traditions? So basically, in this case, Darrell Brooks is an admitted pimp. And if you know anything about pimping and hoeing, most pimps have to get underage girls, young girls. Most girls that start out hoeing, they're younger because most grown women aren't going to just be prostitutes after they're grown. It's just harder. It's not going to happen. So most girls start being prostitutes at ages like 12, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Darrell Brooks got in trouble in Nevada because the girl that he said he was pimping on was 16 years old. But that's most pimps, though. Most pimps get younger girls to start with, and then, you know, you graduate and they get older, yada, yada, yada. But he's an admitted pimp. So I can imagine in this relationship, I don't know if it was pimping or whatever, but it's possible. I don't know. But the way he put his hands on her, y'all can't see it, but the way he put his hands on her, then that would indicate to me that, you know, most pimps don't mind, you know, putting their hands on women, you know, very brutal, very violent. You know, it's just the nature of the game. The women are broken, the men are broken. But so this is some of Derek Brooks' character prior to this parade fiasco. Now let me go back to his you know what? Let me go to some fun videos.
And more importantly,
now keep in mind the car that he used wasn't even his car. The car that he used wasn't even his car. It was his mother's car. Let's continue.
he testified about to find out.
I should have the information in the mailroom right now that you can readily view this information about the class action lawsuit, about the recall. It wasn't just the 2010 model in question, it was 2008 through 2010. The information about the malfunctioning pertains strictly to the throttle body.
Let me address your claim, sir. So
his mother tells him that the car had a factory malfunction with the throttle body. This is mother. So imagine his mother, your son done killed 6 people and he done ran over 61 and you're still trying to help him out. This is a problem. Your son killed 6 people, innocent, and injured 61, and you're trying to get him off on a technicality. He in his mama's car, running over people, going through barricades, doing all this stuff, and he said it was an accident. Well, if it was an accident, why didn't he stop after he hit the first person? Oh, I get it. He said the car couldn't stop, right? He said he panicked. Why didn't he pull the emergency brake? Why didn't he go crash into a building? Why did he turn around? But nobody's covering this trial because of Black privilege. They're not going to put a Black person on in the media to be held accountable. This is no different than with the LGBTQ community. You don't know any news outlets that are portraying Black people in a negative light. There are none. 0. Y'all say Fox is racist, but Fox don't do it. We know CNN doesn't do it. We know the Shade Room doesn't do it. So who does it? Nobody. Let's continue.
not trying to cut you off. I don't need the specifics about a class action because as it relates to this case, the fact that there's a class action would not mean there's a Brady violation by the state. In fact, you even indicate it was readily known and something you were able to find out. I'd further note that you had a full and fair opportunity to cross-examine the inspector regarding his mechanical inspection. It's not new information. And more importantly, as it relates to this particular vehicle, based upon the testimony of Inspector Schultz, it's speculative as to whether this vehicle would be impacted, number one, by the class action, and number two, any throttle body problems. Because again, there was a full inspection. That report was provided to you. He testified on direct examination about there being no active recalls. And more importantly, he testified about what impact the throttle body would have and what he would expect to see if there were any issues with it. I am aware that the ICF, I did receive an email, it's one page, with no later than and personally no Brady that would have would.
He did have the report.
Knowledge until she told me. And when you spoke of the owner of the vehicle, that's who gave me the information. My mother gave me the information of this. I had no knowledge until she told me. And that's how I came into the information. And she was the one that said, I'm going to send you all the information that you need so you can present it to the court. So I
understand that, sir, but your request
information.
is not timely. So you have had this information for quite some time, either through counsel.
I did not have it for quite some time.
Let me make my record, either through counsel.
It was just told to me.
That's not what I'm saying. You've had the information about this report for quite some time, either through prior counsel or through all of the discovery that was turned over to you when you took over your representation of your own case. The fact that you have now learned this, it's a little bit too late. And I understand that may seem fair to you, but when I consider the information that you're providing to me, it's speculative on your part as to whether there's any impact on this particular vehicle because of the inspection that was done. And you had a full and fair opportunity to cross-examine the inspector about information that was readily obtainable and researchable by you prior to the time that you cross-examined this witness.
It was not really readily available for me to expect at the time. I don't have access to the internet. So how would I be able to?
Mr. Brooks, you're telling me your mother had that information.
No,
so,
I'm
and I'm
telling
going to
you,
trust.
she just told me this information. I have the phone calls to prove it.
I understand that. I'm denying the request, sir.
And I would like a.
So that's my decision.
I object to that, Your Honor.
I understand.
I
I've made my
object to that.
decision. I expect that you respect the decision, at least
No.
as we're not going to debate it further.
Yes.
I now have the
It needs to be-
ICF,
It
the
needs to
one
be
for the state,
addressed, Your
provided
Honor.
for the state. And
Be
I gave that to you. All right, so
I
Mr. Brooks, in
respectfully
light of
object. I respectfully object, Your Honor, and request the legal reconsideration of your ruling, Your Honor.
it's denied. The request for reconsideration is denied. There's no legal basis for me to do
I
that at this point.
respectfully reject that ruling and take exception to that ruling, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Brooks, we need to keep going.
For the record, may I request a legal or factual basis for your ruling, Your Honor?
I provided an oral ruling today. The record stands, sir.
For the record, may I respectfully request a written judicial finding of facts and conclusion of law on this issue?
Your request is denied.
For the record, may I respectfully move for an interlocutory declaratory appeal of this matter?
I wouldn't be the one you would make that request to, sir. So I
For the
can't
record, may I
answer that
move
yes
to
or
stay
no.
these proceedings until the instant matter is adjudicated by a court of.
My bad, y'all. Thank you for the sticker, Broken Traditions. Thank you so much. Now, what they told him, now keep in mind now, he done got some games for some folks locked up. He'd have been in prison before too. Now, all the folks in prison telling him if he does this, he gonna get off the charges. So he in there trying to use all the jargon, all the stuff, and it don't work. This stuff don't work in the court because the folks are wrong. This stuff would only work if you were in the right. But if you was in the right, you wouldn't be there in the first place. This stuff never works. Don't let these folks trick you into going into court using all kind of terms you don't even understand and then get jammed up in the end. None of this stuff works. You done killed 6 people and injured 61. It's not going to work. Right. The family members got to sit and listen to this foolishness every day. This dude was arguing with but it's actually great entertainment, but he's arguing with the judge every day and he's making the most smallest thing into something huge. Right. Straight out of a movie. Right. He doing all these terms and none of this stuff is going to work because you're wrong, man. And then he was cross-examining people and everybody kept saying it's you. And he would be like, who is you? Like, it's foolishness. So let's continue. I don't know what's going on with Instagram.
Competent jurisdiction.
The request is denied.
Based on what law and fact, Your Honor?
The request is denied.
Based on what law and fact, Your Honor?
Any other requests, sir? I'd like to move on.
Based on what law?
There's no
or
legal
fact?
Basis that you've stated for me to do that, sir.
It has been, Your Honor.
The request is denied. The request is not a proper motion. There's no legal support for the motion. There's no factual support.
And this judge was so patient and so accommodating for this dude, but she had to be because she knows if she said anything or did anything that was remotely right, she's going to be called racist. So she knows her career's on the line. Her career's on the line right now. She knows that. She knows if she say anything that she should be able to say, they're going to say she's racist. So she was extra accommodating, extra nice, extra respectful, and he took full advantage of it. Let's continue. I got some good clips, y'all. Let's continue.
Support for the motion, so it's denied.
For the record, it appears that this court is acting in contempt of the law, Your Honor. Can you show me how or where this court is following the law of respecting this matter?
That's a very vague statement, sir. There's no legal relief that you're claiming. There's no motion before the court based in law or fact. So this court cannot address that last statement of yours.
Your Honor, with all due respect, I would like a motion for finding a fact.
Denied.
Under what law fact?
I made an oral ruling, sir. There's no requirement. I do so in writing.
So you're denying a legal, you're denying a motion for finding a fact.
I am.
So how do I know what you're doing is legal, Your Honor?
All right, Mr. Brooks, we're going to move forward. At this time, I want to.
How do I know that this is legal, Your Honor? Can you show me that it's legal?
Mr. Brooks, we're moving forward. So your request is denied.
It doesn't seem like
Mr. Brooks, I need to give you some advice.
It doesn't
and I'd
seem
ask
like
that you
I
stop
don't need your
me.
advice.
No, I have to give you advisements, sir, regarding your right to testify.
I need to do your job without prejudice and without
Mr.
bias.
Brooks has now interrupted me multiple times. He's failing to respect the court's oral rulings here today. It's something that he's done repeatedly throughout this trial. Mr. Brooks, I need to go through some advisements. Unless you have a witness to immediately call, I need to go through this particular discussion on the record with you regarding your right to testify. Do you have a witness to call, sir?
You don't need to go through anything with me on record.
Actually, I do so, sir. That is required by law.
Actually, you don't. You need to do your job as a public servant,
Mr. Brooks,
and honor the oath that you
I
took,
need to
Your
go
Honor.
through these advisements, and if you're going to keep interrupting me, you will forfeit your right to be present, and you
So
will be
you're holding me in
removed
contempt
to
again.
the next courtroom so that I can properly go through these advisements without being interrupted.
And I still don't have to answer. I still don't have to answer whether I'm
Now imagine, and the bailiff behind him be making the funniest faces. But imagine he bucking at the judge, but not the mask. Think about this. He's bucking at the judge, but not the mask. His life is hanging in the balance, meaning if he gets found guilty, he's going to have to serve 6 life sentences. That means he's going to serve life, die, come back, die, come back, die. So 6 life sentences for what he did, but he won't let the mask go. I'm thinking to myself, listen, if I'm on trial for 6 murders, I mean, what's the mask going to do? This man will not let the mask go. But he's bucking at the judge. You understand what psychosis this takes? To submit to the mask, but not the judge. To submit to the mask, but not the court. He wanna hide his he wants to hide his face from the jury. That's funny. But the funny thing is, he was already in court before with no mask on. So basically, two jurors on this case got COVID. Or excuse me, I shouldn't have said that. 2 jurors on the case got the Peter pandemic. And so he tried to make an issue out of that. So yeah. Let's continue. Right, Cole. He's the only one in the courtroom with a mask on. Like, it's crazy. Let's continue.
I'm in this court or not, so you're holding me in contempt yet again.
Mr. Brooks, I've not held you in contempt. I've found that you have forfeited your right to be present by your conduct, which is one of the options available to this court under Illinois versus Allen, under State versus Vaughn. It's also referenced in State versus Anthony. So I am going to keep going, sir, despite your protestations.
Your Honor, with all
I
due
need you
respect,
to
in Illinois
not
versus
interrupt
Allen,
me. This is another interruption.
In Illinois versus Allen.
Mr. Brooks, I'm not going to have a debate with you on the
not
meaning
trying to
of
have a
Illinois
debate.
versus
I'm not
Allen.
trying to have a debate.
You are
I'm merely
advised
trying
that
to
a
understand
continued,
Illinois versus Allen.
Mr. Brooks, you are advised that continued interruptions will result in you forfeiting your right to be present during this next phase of the trial.
Okay, but you saying that
I've said that multiple times.
See, his goal was to get the judge to crack. So basically, his whole purpose of this is to declare a mistrial. So he was trying to get somebody to snap, whether it be the bailiff, whether it be the prosecution, whether it be the family, whether it be the judge. He was trying to get somebody to make this thing be declared a mistrial. But this judge is the most patient judge I've ever seen.
Times I've given you multiple opportunities to stop interrupting me.
You're holding me in contempt.
Mr. Brooks,
By
I'm not holding you in
from the
contempt
courtroom.
for the second time here, and I've
Your
also
Honor,
repeated that.
Your Honor,
He's
with
interrupting me yet again.
with all
Mr. Brooks, I
respect-
need you to stop talking.
With all respect, in Illinois versus Allen.
All right, Mr. Brooks continues to want to debate with me the meaning of Illinois versus Allen. It is a clear indication to this
I'm
court
trying to
that
understand,
he
Your Honor.
wants to disrupt these proceedings, even
That's
in
not
a
true.
mild manner tone
That's
of
not
voice.
true.
I've
I'm
reminded
seeking
him
to
repeatedly
understand, Your
regarding
Honor,
the standards of
because it
decorum and
doesn't-
civility, and one of the
Illinois doesn't
bedrocks is that he
Illinois
not
versus
interrupt.
Allen does not state.
All right, I'm going to
that-
remove him to the next courtroom so that I can go through
It does
proper
not state-
advisements with him without being
It
interrupted.
does not
We'll clear the
state
courtroom
that
and
you
we'll
can be
resume
present from
once he
cameras.
is over there. Again,
It
I'll make
doesn't
the
state that
appropriate
you can be
findings when
present
he is
from
there.
cameras, or that you could be,
Yes, we're off the record.
or that you
until,
could be.
he's in the
Okay,
other
so
courtroom. I'll
you're
be
making a
stepping off.
tacit agreement for something that
I couldn't have did it. I couldn't have did it. I could have did it. Ain't no way. I want y'all to see the I want y'all to see the stare down.
Once again, you're doing this tactic.
Because
try to
it's not a want to run the record back.
You know, I love like Law and Order and stuff. So this stuff just is funny to me. Like I love like all the court shows and unsolved mysteries and all that stuff, man. This is hold on.
Want to run the record back.
Mr. Brooks.
So I'm the only one. I got one.
Mr.
I got
Brooks.
one ear that work, and I heard that.
This
Come on,
is
man.
to benefit you so that
No, it's
you
not.
understand
Ain't none of
your
this to benefit
witness
me. So let's
has
be
a
clear about
prior
that.
record.
Your Honor, when I leave the table, I'm away from the courtroom and I have to elevate my voice. This is the
So she had to
alleged
elevate her
record of
voice
Abel
just for
Lescott.
that.
Stop talking.
Come on, man. Like I don't know who y'all be thinking y'all fooling. I'll set for value, return for value. This document.
One more interruption and you're going to be removed to the next courtroom.
That's what you want to do anyway.
It's not what I want to do. Do not interrupt Attorney Opera.
So can
Your
you
Honor,
tell?
I
Can you
believe he
explain?
has 7 prior criminal convictions via OWI 2nd from 1997, and OWI 3rd from 1997, and OWI 4th from 2003, criminal trespass to dwelling from 2006.
All right, I need to take a break. This man right now is having a stare down with me. It's very disrespectful. He pounded his fist. Frankly, it makes me scared.
Oh my good. Listen. Do you see this man right here? Do y'all see this man? Yo, look at this. Listen, the judge ready to go on break anyway. This is hilarious though. This hilarious. Let's play this back real quick. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
It's not what I want to do. Do not interrupt Attorney Opera.
So can
Your
you
Honor,
tell?
I
Can you
believe he
explain?
has 7 prior criminal convictions via OWI 2nd from 1997, and OWI 3rd from 1997, and OWI 4th from 2003, criminal trespass to dwelling from 2006.
All right, I need to take a break. This man right now is having a stare down with me. It's very disrespectful. He pounded his fist. Frankly, it makes me scared. And we're taking a break.
The judge wanted to go on break anyway. Because he did worse stuff than this. Like the judge wanted to go on break. She just used it. She wanted to go on break anyway. But this guy's hilarious though. So y'all think he knows about law, huh? You think he knows about law? Yeah, but knowing about law only works if you ain't in violation of the law.
pages. We can get this done tomorrow. To answer my questions from
I'm not doing it tomorrow.
So in this right here, so basically, this is where he tells the judge he's not doing his closing statement tomorrow. He's telling that was today. So this was yesterday. He's saying, I'm not doing this closing argument tomorrow. He's telling the judge I'm not doing it. So basically, he tried to get the case again. His whole purpose was to get the case thrown out. That was his goal. But you done killed 6 people though. But let's continue. We about to have church now.
on that, I am unmuting. All right, Mr. Brooks, do you have any position on that? I am unmuting you. I would note he takes the headphones on and off throughout. He doesn't have them on. He's looking at a book.
I wish you would stop saying, look, I'm looking at the Bible. Thank you. It's not just a book, it's the book.
Can't disagree with you there, sir.
Yeah. How many people actually live by it though? Anyway.
Sir.
The audacity to try to check the judge on the Bible. And this dude said, but how many people actually live by it? Do you understand how egregious you got to be as a person? No.
It's not just a book, it's the book.
Can't disagree with you there, sir.
Yeah. How many people actually live by it though? Anyway.
Sir, I'm contemplating putting an hour time limit on closing arguments.
I ain't doing no closing argument tomorrow.
The closing arguments will most likely be tomorrow.
I'm not doing it tomorrow.
Then you'll forfeit your right to give one, sir, because as
you can't force me not. What type of court is this where you can say you're gonna force somebody not to be able to give a closing argument? How's that lawful law?
If you choose not to give one,
how's that lawful law?
Sir, if you choose not to give one, you're not letting me finish, and you're mocking me right now, which is incredibly disrespectful once again.
Okay,
you didn't even let me get my sentence out.
You always want to make an incorrect record. Go ahead. Change your incorrect record. Go ahead.
I'll mute him once again because clearly he just wants to be disruptive this afternoon. But as we have been talking about over the course of the last, 10, 15 minutes, the parties should be prepared. All of these, the first part of the instructions, the parties 1 hour each. I think that's reasonable under the circumstances. Whatever the state doesn't use in its initial time, probably before the defendant goes, just for the jury's sake and the party's sake, we will need a comfort break. But you should be prepared to go tomorrow afternoon. Then the state, if they have any rebuttal, will get up within that time limit. I will myself and I'll have my clerk make sure we accurately. So I need it quiet in the courtroom, please.
I'm not doing it tomorrow.
To answer my questions from previously and also to let me know whether you are asking to stay in that courtroom. I've been advised he can hear and see. Mr. Brooks, we are on the record. I'll go through the topics one by one. You are in the other courtroom. You are invited back here. Would you like to come back here? Yes or no? The audio is on. Would you like to come back to this courtroom, sir?
You're unmuted.
So I'm finally unmuted.
You've been unmuted for a while since I came back on. My understanding, sir, is you'd like to be in that other courtroom. Is that true? Record to reflect, he's putting on the headphones.
What's going on?
Mr. Brooks, I'm inviting you back to the courtroom. My understanding from a relay of information from the bailiffs is that you don't want to come back here.
I ain't say nothing.
All right, are you ready to come back then?
Not if I'm just gonna get held in contempt again.
I didn't hold you in contempt.
Then why am I even over here?
So that I could make a ruling and make a record without an interruption pursuant to my authority in Illinois versus Allen.
So did you make your record?
I did.
Am I ever gonna get a chance to make the record without being interrupted?
Mr. Brooks, I'm asking you, the first question is, do you want to come back into this courtroom?
Not if you're gonna hold me in contempt.
Sir, I need to continue with the trial. So if you don't answer yes or no, then I will presume you want to be in that courtroom, and you'll, by your conduct, waive your right to be in this courtroom.
By what conduct? I didn't consent to
By
being held.
failing to answer my question, sir. So I'll ask you again.
Are you gonna hold me in contempt? I don't want to be held in contempt.
I will ask you again, sir. Would you like to come back to this courtroom?
I'm supposed to be in there anyway.
So twice now I've asked him. He has not answered a yes or no. Mr. Brooks, I'll ask you a third time. Would you like to come back into this courtroom?
Yes, if you're not gonna hold me in contempt.
Given his yes, I will close the courtroom. He'll be brought over, and then we'll continue when he comes into this courtroom. Thank you.
And for the record, I do not consent to being called that name.
To answer my questions from.
Thank you, McKay OK, for the sticker. So you hear, so throughout the trial, he was talking about people calling him Mr. Brooks or Darrell Brooks. He didn't want to be called that name. So basically what he tried to do was he tried to make it to where he's representing himself, but he's not being himself. So in other words, he's not Darrell Brooks. Again, he was trying to declare a mistrial. So he was trying to get the people to argue on him not actually being there, but then if he was there, it was an accident. So we kind of try to argue 2 points. But this judge is abnormally patient. And someone said, well, what about her authority? Again, if she really flexes on him like she's supposed to, they're going to say she racist. I'm telling you, they're going to have a clip of her going off on him, and then they're going to then they're going to show you clips of him complaining about her. It's a setup. Think about it. It's about 17 days of him talking about how unfair the judge is. If she does one thing, they're going to show that one clip of her and then show y'all the 17 days worth of him complaining about her. I'm telling you, man, it's a setup. This is woke media. This is why the media didn't cover this. What's up, the new me, Michaela? Hold on, let's continue.
Right, they're not in front of him, but it's by his. If the bailiff could confirm, well, he put him on top, he put him on the floor, that's his right. They're not in front of him, but it's by his own conduct that he's done that. The record should reflect Mr. Brooks is muted because he wants to continue to debate with this court about my prior rulings regarding his forfeiture by conduct of his right to present further evidence on his behalf. The jury's. So the state has any requests as it relates to the jury instructions?
I'm just going through each one. I'm on page 50 of 107. Everything's looking great so far.
Okay.
Now y'all know he's behind these boxes going off. My account is blocked. Anyway, they have him, he behind this box yelling at her, but she got him muted. But he going off though. Hold on.
Mr. Brooks is requesting to go back to his cell. At this point, I'm going to deny that request. He can remain in the other courtroom.
Y'all see him behind them boxes yelling?
You know he's muted, but I can certainly hear him from this side. He appears to be yelling at the top of his lungs. I can't decipher what he's yelling.
Oh, my live ended, Christopher. My live ended. He over there hollering and screaming in that room.
Make a finding as to each count of the information. I am pulling out his. And I just confirmed that the other 12 numbers were in there. I'll put those back in and then we'll make a record of that. If the bailiff could confirm, well, he put him on top, he put him on the floor. That's his right. They're not in front of him, but it's by his own conduct that he's done that. The record should reflect Mr. Brooks is muted because he wants to continue to debate with this court about my prior rulings. To reflect, we are all back in this courtroom.
Before the jury's brought out, can we address subject matter jurisdiction, Your Honor? Before
Absolutely
the jury's
not.
brought out,
Absolutely not.
is that a tacit agreement that you don't have to answer those questions as a public servant, Your Honor? So are you gonna act in dishonor?
Mr. Brooks,
Are you gonna act
I've
in dishonor?
already addressed your requests.
It hasn't been proven for the record, Your Honor.
The jury is on its way,
They're not out yet, though.
but they're on the way.
You held me in
I'm
contempt.
not
You held me in
addressing these
contempt
matters,
before-
sir.
Have I acted in dishonor, Your Honor? You held me in contempt without me being in dishonor. How have I dishonored the court? Have I acted in dishonor? Have I rose my voice or argued with Your Honor? Have I disrupted the
Mr.
courtroom
Brooks,
in
you're
any
back
way?
in this courtroom at your request. The jury is coming
I
up.
never should have
Please
been.
be respectful of their time.
I
and of this
have
process
been. They weren't
and
even
the
out
dignity
before.
of the proceedings.
They weren't even out before when I was trying to address what needed to be
Mr.
addressed
Brooks,
before they came out.
You're
Have I-
just
am I
attempting
acting
to
in
disrupt the
dishonor?
proceedings.
Am I acting in dishonor? So that's a tacit
All
agreement
rise
that you
for the
don't.
jury, please.
It's a tacit agreement that you don't have to answer questions as a public servant,
All
right?
right, the jury.
No
is
jury's
not
out.
Mr. Brooks.
No jury's
close the
out.
door.
I was trying to
Mr.
address
Brooks,
this
they are
before they
right
came out.
outside this door. I am not going to do this with you this morning. You either
I'm not
abide by
doing-
these rules
Am I
and
acting in
stay
dishonor?
quiet,
Am
or
I
you will
acting
be
in
in the other
dishonor?
courtroom.
Am I acting in dishonor?
Yes, you are acting
How?
in dishonor.
How?
You are disobeying the direct order of this court to respect the decorum and the dignity of these proceedings. You are merely attempting to delay.
I don't care what you think. That's not accurate.
Mr. Brooks, I am having this jury out. And if you
and you're
say
making
one word when that door
you're
opens,
making a tacit
then
agreement.
you will forfeit your right to be present.
So you're acting in dishonor, then, Your Honor.
All right, the jury may come in.
You're acting in dishonor by making a tacit agreement that you don't have to answer any questions as a public servant. You're not holding up to your oath to protect the
All right, the
Constitution.
door is open and he's talking.
Okay, so you're gonna hold me in
All right.
contempt?
The jury cannot come in. Never mind.
Are you gonna hold
All
me in
right.
contempt?
Mr. Brooks is going to be removed. We're in recess until that
How
can
am
be
I how am
accomplished.
I acting in dishonor?
So again, they told him in prison that if he did all this, he's gonna get off. I'm telling y'all, this stuff doesn't work because you got to be in the right to do it. And if you was in the right, you wouldn't be in the first place. What folks don't understand is that when you get to this point in the court proceedings, you guilty. You already guilty. You're already guilty. So they done told this man if he used all this legal jargon that he gonna jam the course up. No, it don't work. Right. The bailiffs want to put their hands on him. Right. But guess what? That's what he wants. He wants somebody in the courtroom to nut up so it could be a mistrial. I'm telling you what he's trying to do. He's trying to frustrate everybody. Who thinks he could be innocent? Okay, let me ask a question. Who thinks that there was a malfunction with the car? Is it possible that the car malfunctioned? Is it possible that the car had malfunctioned? Is it possible that the car malfunctioned and he got nervous and scared? I'm just asking. Is it a possibility that he went down the wrong street, he went through a barricade, went down the wrong street, tried to hit the brakes, they didn't work, and the car out of control. He got scared, hopped out, ran to the man's house, and asked to use the phone to call an Uber. Because his goal was to get to the house, get in the Uber, and then him say, "Oh, I was in an Uber. Somebody must have stole the car." That was his whole, like he was thinking fast. Okay, Teresa said it's possible. McKay said it was possible before I saw this foolishness. Now I know he did it. Raheel said nope. Yasmin, nope. The new me, Michaela said, "You joking, right?" Yeah, not his car. Well, Yasmin said he wanted to play GTA in real life. Lisa said he'd be crying, not yelling. So I think what you all are saying is, if this was an accident, he'd be a little more remorseful. Like he'd be a little more humble. Like he'd be a little more trying to plead versus making demands. Amy said it would have happened before because he drove up and down the street. Now, keep in mind, he tried to swerve and hit the baby mama first. That was on camera. But he ended up punching her in the eye and in the mouth. Oh, my bad. Michaela, I'm sorry. Michaela, my bad. Let's continue.
When you tell me this is what you need to do, I'm going to take it by what you're telling me that I need to do. If I needed to make anything request-wise or anything that I needed to present to the court, it has to be in writing. You told me to do that. I did it. You also brought up when I asked numerous times before when would I have a chance to present things into evidence, you told me we were not at the evidentiary phase of the trial yet.
And this also was funny, right? If he really believed in all this stuff, he wouldn't have cut his hair. Like he only cut his hair to me to seem more presentable or seem like a different person, possibly. It's possible that he cut his hair and put the mask on and not seem like the same person in the car, but in the courtroom, they had him pull his mask down several times for the people with the witnesses, and they was like, yeah, that's him. So that didn't work. But to me, the real reason is he cut the dreads and brought the Bible out. It seemed like he's a good person. It seemed like he's not that bad. But somebody said earlier that he knows the law. Yeah, he knows the law, but the problem is he's in violation of it. Like knowing the law and being in violation of it is a moot point because you finished.
So I took that as saying supposed to, because the filings that I gave, you actually filed and gave me the copies back. So are those in the record?
Mr. Brooks,
I'm just seeking to understand. I'm just seeking to understand.
Mr. Brooks, I cannot explain procedure or evidence
The filings that
or
I
the
filed.
rulings or
I'm
the
asking a
law
question, Your
to
Honor.
you.
I'm merely asking a question. The filings that I presented to Your Honor.
Any filings
For
with
the
this
court.
court are in the court record. That does not mean they're evidence, sir. And I told you
That's
that
not what I'm
previously.
asking. I'm asking, are the filings part of the record? The filings that were filed and timestamped, that were notarized, that I presented to the court, all the filings, the appearance bonds, the statement of particulars, the notice of special appearance, the court docket sheet, your oath of office, everything that I tried to present into the record. How am I not able to make them part of the record?
So they were filed because you presented them to the court during the course of this case. Anything that was not offered as an exhibit and received during the evidentiary phase is not evidence in this trial.
That's what I attempted to do, and you told me that I couldn't. You told me,
Mr. Brooks, I am bringing this jury
Your Honor,
out.
with
Listen
all
to me.
respect, you told me that we were not at the evidence. When I said I have exhibits as well, I have stuff that I want to put into the record. I even asked, I said,
Mr.
may I
Brooks,
give an offer into evidence?
I'm going to stop
these
you
things.
once again. I'm not going to have this discussion and debate. The evidentiary phase of this trial is closed.
It
We
should
are
not
now
be, though,
at the
Your
jury.
Honor.
I understand your lack of consent. Your
So
objection
when would I
is
be able to
noted
put?
for the
When
record.
would I be able to put vital information into the record, which I haven't had the opportunity to do?
That opportunity has closed for you, sir.
So you saying basically you're prejudicing my defense by me not being able to present things into evidence, offer into evidence, filings and important paperwork and documents.
Mr.
This is what happens when you get that jailhouse education. This is what happens when you get a jailhouse education and you don't realize that this stuff ain't gonna work unless you in the right. You can't be in the wrong doing this stuff. You are prejudicing my, what did he say? You are prejudicing my justice? What did he say? They're talking about giving him 6 life sentences because he has, like, I think 76 counts. So I know he has 6 counts of, I want to say, first-degree murder. Yeah, but the problem is, Michela, y'all know how the media, listen, this guy has been complaining the entire time about how unfair the trial is. Think about it. He's saying the judge won't let him put stuff in the evidence. He said the judge making new rules. It's a lot of footage for somebody to chop up. And then if the judge do one thing wrong, I'm telling you what the media is going to do. They're going to show him all. Listen, I know why they did this. They wanted to make this case as simple as possible. We're not going to argue with him. We're not going to debate. We're not going to get loud. They probably told all the people, the family members, don't do nothing to mess this trial up. Told the bailiffs, don't do nothing to mess the trial up. I'm telling you. You talking about all this stuff, but you pled not guilty. So not guilty means you didn't do it. Again, I'm just telling y'all how woke we are now. The jury, they had a poll online with this place, I think Law and Justice on YouTube. They had a poll, and the vast majority of people thought that the jury was gonna reach a verdict in 1 hour. But y'all telling me they haven't. But everybody bet the jury would reach a verdict in 1 hour. Let me see what CNN says. Look, hold on 1 second, hold on. Watch this, watch CNN. Watch CNN. Hold on. Look at CNN. Man accused of driving a car through the Waukesha Christmas parade delivers tearful closing arguments. Look at CNN now. This is CNN right here. This is CNN. The CNN. Look, I told y'all CNN. Darrell Brooks told jurors Tuesday during closing arguments he did not intentionally plow an SUV through a Christmas parade in Waukesha, Wisconsin last year with 6 dead and dozens more injured. How about 61 injured? Brooks has been representing himself during this roughly 3-week trial. He tearfully asked jurors during his 50-minute closing argument to consider whether or not the car could have malfunctioned during the incident last November and the effects of the trial, along with the negative press, has had on his family. Listen to me. Do y'all see CNN? Do y'all see? Listen to me. This is why the judge got to do this. This is why everybody is on eggshells, because of the woke media. Look how CNN is spinning this. Look how CNN is spinning this. Let's go to his closing arguments.
Where does this rage kick in? Where does this insatiable intent to kill kick in? They speak as someone who's known someone for years. Which brings me back to the vehicle. What if the vehicle couldn't stop because of the malfunction?
Objection, fact, not in evidence.
What if the driver of the vehicle was unable to stop the vehicle? Because of that fact, what if the driver may have panicked?
Now, y'all know all the woke folks eating this up, right? Now, y'all know all the woke folks is eating his closing testimony up, right? Somebody said Michelle said he sounded like T.I. Right, Amy. CNN already had it prepared. So you know everybody woke is eating this closing testimony up because he's shedding tears. He's saying the car malfunctioned. He's saying I've been treated unfairly. Like, this is a woke liberal's wet dream, this closing argument. Just no accountability, all emotions, no facts, just let's continue.
Does that make the driver a crazed, or not crazed, a rage? Does that make the driver in a rage and intent on killing people? DA played.
I want to say a quick prayer. Lord, thank you for letting me still have my hairline intact. Thank you, dear Lord. Thank you. God forbid, Lord, I'm in court and they keep zooming in on my hairline and it's gone. Thank you, Lord, for keeping my hairline intact. Let's continue.
Data Exhibit 17. You don't see anyone struck in that vehicle. On that exhibit, you don't see anyone struck. Was someone who had this intent to kill, this rage, as she says. If that was their intent, wouldn't they have taken the opportunity to hit as many people as they could? Target people, mow down people.
I've been trying to find a video, but it's hard because they pretty much scrubbed all the videos of him, what he was doing. But if you watch the videos, like I'll try to find it. He was literally driving up to people, stopping, and then accelerating. Driving up, slowing down, stopping, then accelerating. So, yeah. But I can't, it's hard finding that. I can't find that video. I'm going to look again.
I never asked once. Still coming up with nothing. How the hardest questions you can ask is those that don't have an answer.
Hey, he thought he said something. He thought he said something. Listen, the hardest questions you can ask is the ones that don't have an answer. He thought he said something. That stuff only work on the street where somebody don't know anything. This dude said, he really thought he said something. You can't tell him he didn't say something. He thought he just dropped a bomb on the courtroom. The hardest questions to ask are the ones that don't have an answer. Yo. Oh, the hardest pools to jump in are the ones that don't get you wet. Like what this is. Listen, man. Again, this is that penitentiary jailhouse education right here. Yeah, it's supposed to be profound. Exactly. Yeah, he deep. Oh my goodness. Man, he thought he said something then. Oh my goodness. Yeah, he gonna get life, but yeah, he should have covered them tattoos up, really. Right, Brian James. The CNN article failed to mention that the police did a complete inspection of the vehicle, including the throttle body and the brakes. All were found to be working condition when they found the car. Exactly. If you watch the video, the unedited video, he's literally stopping the car and then accelerating. Like everything worked on the car. He's literally stopping and then running folks over like it's nothing. So yeah. See, but you saw CNN, he gave a tearful, heartfelt plea. If he gets a light sentence, I don't know, man. The problem is The jury taking a long time for what, though? This is crazy. Let's continue. What is it? Rabina, Miss Brooks. Is it Miss Brooks? They have his back. He'll soon be chilling on an island with the rest of them. That's funny. He ain't going to no island. Going to Rikers Island or what's the other one? Alcatraz. Alcatraz don't even exist anymore, but you can go visit. Thank you. The jury, right, Kelvin. The jury is just milking time off. Exactly. You right, Kelvin. The jury's trying to milk. They trying to milk it. You right. Milk the time off. You right. Right. They use accused. Let's continue.
No matter how much thinking you do, no matter how much you try to look at it from different perspectives and listen to other outside perspectives and listen to people that you trust and that you love, still coming up with nothing. But to think for 1 second, one question I never had to ask was if this was intentional. That's something that I never asked once. Because I know it wasn't. As a matter of fact, it never even crossed my mind to even attempt to ask myself that because I know it wasn't.
What do you all think the prosecution is thinking? What do you think the prosecution is thinking? Look at them. Look at them. They like, man, this is a look. What do you think the prosecution is thinking? She's in disbelief. The one in the middle, she is in disbelief. She is like, this dude can't be serious. Dude in the blue suit, he like, man, he done. He been checked out. And I know she pissed. And when the one writing, she pissed. I know she pissed. Let's continue.
And I know sometimes during this trial probably doesn't show. Maybe hard to believe. But trust me when I say no one outside of the families that had to go through this, no one's heart is more in pieces than mine. So again, I go back to all these exhibits. Go back to everything that's been shown, everything that's been testified. Some days are longer than others. A lot of movement in and out of the courtroom for various reasons. Remember the power that you have. Don't for 1 second let it be taken away from you. I can never understand the position of sitting on the jury in something of this magnitude. So I'm sure there's a lot of pressure.
Do you think he honestly believes that the jury is going to sympathize with, like somebody said he was a narcissist? Yes, he is. There, you know how self-delusional you have to be or self-indulged you have to be to believe that because you get up there and give a 50-minute closing argument to the jury that they're going to actually listen to you? Like, does he really think they're buying this? Maybe he does. I don't know. Because he seems like he's a great actor. You know, most rappers are just bad actors stuck in character, but you know, most rappers can act, you know, because they got to play a part. But he's actually a good actor. He looks the part. He can, you know, do the facial expression. He can cry. He should have gotten a theater when he was younger instead of pretending to be a pimp and a gangster. You're right, Avion. It is disrespectful, though. It is. Let's get.
I pray that the right decision is made. The right decision. It's almost like that message, well, not message, but that writing when we're in our vehicles and we have that rearview mirror and it said things are closer than they appear. But it's also another way of saying sometimes things aren't as they appear.
Yeah. If you don't think he dropping some quotes on this courtroom, you crazy. You know how you look in your rear view and it says things aren't as close as they appear? I liken that to real life and that things aren't as they appear. Like, yo, this dude. Listen, this guy right here, he missed his calling. Irabina Brooks thinks that he was paid. She thinks he's an actor. But he missed his calling. You know, he should have been an actor because this dude missed his calling, man. He would have done great. Like, this dude is hilarious. But if you think he doesn't think he's dropping bombs on y'all, you crazy.
I can't speak for anyone else, but me, myself, I believe in Jesus Christ. That's how I was raised. That's what I believe in. We're in our vehicles and we have that rearview mirror and it said things are closer than they appear. But it's also another way of saying sometimes things aren't as they appear. I can't speak for anyone else, but me, myself, I believe in Jesus Christ. That's how I was raised. That's what I believe in. None of us are perfect. But I try every day to make sure that I acknowledge him. That's why every time I step in this courtroom, I have my Bible with me everywhere I go.
Now, you know, he has a cousin that he shot at. His cousin don't fool with him. You know, he tried to shoot his cousin. His cousin don't fool with him. I'm gonna pull that clip up. But oh no, my bad. It was his nephew. So his nephew, he tried to shoot at his nephew. I'm gonna pull it up. That's right, Cole. It needs to be a movie, man. Listen, if y'all have been watching this trial, it is hilarious. Like this dude, he missed his calling. He missed his calling. Oh, let's continue. Hold on. Do y'all believe that he reads the Bible every day? Do y'all believe he studies the word? Do y'all believe he's saved and born again? Do y'all believe that? Do y'all believe? I'm just asking because he could be. I'm just asking. Do you all believe that he's saved and reads the Bible? You know. Or a better question is, did he have the Bible in the car when he was running them folks over? Did he have the Bible in the car when he was running through that parade? This is a good question. Let's continue.
We're reading on breaks, recesses. This is not something that started at the beginning of this incident. This is something that has been instilled in me since I came out of the womb. This is how my family lives their life. This is how we was raised. For whatever mistakes that I myself have made in my life, I've made peace with God. Made peace.
Now, people use the word mistake, but it's really a non-contextual statement. The mistakes I've made. You didn't make a mistake. You were a pimp on purpose. Like you got involved in a life of crime. Like you did this stuff on. It's not a mistake. You know, a mistake is I put flour in the coffee instead of creamer. You know, that's a mistake. What what he did was on purpose. He went out to Las Vegas to pimp. He was pimping in Las Vegas, underage girls. He involved in all kind of crime. He abuses women. He killing people. Like this is on purpose stuff. Not actually, it's on purpose. It's on purpose. That's right. People don't care about peace; they want justice. Now, Miss Brooks thinks that he's working with the elite, and if he's working with the elite, they would have put this trial on TV. This trial would have been on all the networks, and they would have been trying to spin this. But it's so flagrant you can't spin it. And remember, you guys, when this first happened, they said that he was being robbed and he was fleeing for his life. Remember that? They said the police was chasing him. They tried to make every excuse when they found out who killed them folks in that parade. Every excuse. But to no avail. Let's continue.
I'm happy to say that my conscience is clear.
Now what type of cold-blooded person you got to be to have a clear conscience after you done killed 6 people, one of them an 8-year-old boy, and the rest some elderly women or elderly folks, and you injured 61? How could you possibly have a clear conscience? The only way to clear your conscience is if you tell yourself you're not in the wrong, which is the epitome of narcissism. You're telling yourself, I'm not in the wrong, so I can have a clear conscience. That is evil, wicked, and demonic. How in the world could you have a clear conscience after people are dead, lives are ruined, families are traumatized, people will have lifelong problems from their injuries, and they can't sue anybody to get any money. That's crazy. This man said, I cleared my conscience. How? Let's continue.
And because I believe, I trust him with my life.
So you done did all this chaos and destruction, all this death, destruction, and damnation, and now you want to give it to God. You done caused all this death, destruction, and damnation. Even beyond the killing, he was a bad person. You done did all this death, destruction, and damnation, and now you want to give it to God. Boy, that is a cold way to go. Listen, when that bottom lip start doing this, like when that bottom lip do that's a soul cry. The regular cries be from up here, but when that bottom lip go, that's your soul crying out, because he know he ain't never getting out. He ain't never getting out. He ain't going to no island. He ain't never getting out. And when he goes in there, when they look at his record's going to show assaulting women, messing with minors. Like, listen, his record going to get him jammed up. He going to have a tough time in prison. I'll tell you that now. So he will have to be separated from general population. A narcissist, when you try to hold them accountable, they say God got them, or know their heart, or they start crying. I'm sorry. I'm just irritated seeing this light-skinned leprechaun on the screen trying to plead for his freedom when he took 6 lives. No, that's right. God does not exist in desperation. If you think you're about to go to God after you done did all this for the world, and you think when it's time to pay, you think God finna be like, oh, I got the tab? No. No, sir, and no, ma'am. God is moved by faith. The Bible says it's impossible to please God without faith. This ain't faith. This is a plea, and it's gonna fall on deaf ears. But guess who's gonna hear this plea? Somebody in that cell. And he gonna want to hear the plea, all right. He gonna want to hear you squeal. He gonna want to see this leprechaun. He gonna want to see this leprechaun really got a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. That's what he fit experience. He better be separated from general population. That's all I gotta say.
Nobody will never know why it was his will for this to happen.
This man just said nobody will ever know why it was his. So now he blaming God. This man just said nobody will know why it was his will for this to happen. So he done put all this on God now. So now it's all for him. Now it's on God. He literally just said this was God's will. So it ain't him, it's God. Now it's all for me and it's on God. It's a cold. Now listen, CNN is listening to this and having a field day. All the woke folks are moved by this. All the woke folks love this. They love for somebody to be able to run over 6 white people and everything be good. They love it. Let's continue.
Do what's right. Look inside yourself. Look inside yourself and make the right decision. Look inside your heart.
I haven't seen one tear fall. All I keep hearing is allergies. Has anybody seen a tear fall? All I see is allergies acting up. This is crazy.
said, Dad, and this is from the letter. She said, Dad, why are people saying all these mean things about you? I haven't read the rest of that letter yet. The rest of that sentence said, that's not the dad I know.
This man then went. He started off talking about how the jury had, rights to know the truth and to be able to make a decision based on the truth and the facts. They have all the power. Then he went to he was treated unfairly. Then he went to this is hard for me, the families and me. Then he went to the spiritual. Oh no. Then he went to I didn't do it on purpose. It was an accident. Then he went to the spiritual. Now he's going on to I put it in God's hands. Now he's talking about his children. He stole it. Yeah, I think he has I want to say he has 4 children, 4 or 5 children. He may have 5 children. Hey, listen, Cole, not one tear is dropping. It's just all the sniffles. No tear is dropping. Let's continue.
About this year, I've been called a lot of things. And to be fair, I am a lot of things. A murderer is not one of them.
So now he's a victim. So he's been cutting up for 17 days straight, and now he's a victim. Well, that's the problem, Amy, is he should have been locked up. The woke DA let all the criminals out, and this is what happens. When you reward bad behavior, bad things continue to happen just worse. You cannot reward bad behavior. And what these woke folks are doing is they're rewarding bad behavior because they want the streets to be chaotic. They want the average person to be begging for the government to step in. Think about it. If all the gun laws are for law-abiding citizens and not the criminals, so they're telling you, we want you to be unarmed and we want the streets flooded with criminals. That means you're going to beg the government to intervene. When the government intervenes, they're going to intervene with the Chinese troops, the UN troops, FEMA. Come on, y'all. The IRS agents, there's 87,000 of them. So what I'm telling y'all is all this stuff's a setup. They're not mad at the police. They don't care about none of that stuff. They want you to be mad at the police. They want y'all to get up there and kick and scream and say, we don't want to have the police. We don't want to have any more children. And then they're going to say, okay, they're going to grant your wishes. And all hell going to break loose. He wasn't on drugs. He didn't make a drug excuse. He wasn't on drugs. Listen, prior to him killing these people, he punched his baby mama in the face and split her lip open. So before all this happened, he went and beat her up. Try to get her phone from her, all this crazy stuff. So he wasn't on drugs. He wasn't. If you watch, if I can find that video, that man was hitting the breaking, running folks over, breaking, running folks over. He was not. It was very calculated. He did it for the money. What money? Think it was a sacrifice? You're going to see more of this behavior because of what the media is putting out. I didn't know he was that old. He's 39. Let's continue.
Never has been, never will be. So before I close my statements, I just want to say, open your hearts. Go inside yourself when making this decision. Have no fear. Pray and do what you know is right. Everything. That's the magnitude of the power that you have. Love everything. Whatever you decide, make sure you yourself can live with it.
Do you hear what this man just said? Do you hear what this man just said? Do you hear what this man said? Make sure you make a decision that you can live with. I don't listen. This man literally ran over. Let me find that video, man. Let me find that video. Let me let him finish. I want to hear his last statement. Hold on.
Make sure you can live with it. That's the magnitude of the power that you have. For this. It's been about 3 weeks with you. And took a lot of courage and a lot of guts to pause your life for this. To put important things on hold, to basically stop your life. You should be commended for being able to sit up here with this amount of pressure. I want you guys to know that's not lost on me. I'm sure it's a lot. And you all should be commended because it took courage to do this. I don't know, but I would bet a lot of people wouldn't want to be sitting in your position right now.
What type of game is he trying to run on these people? Do he think these folks finna fall for this? Do we think these folks finna fall for this? These broke Jedi mind tricks. They gonna throw the book at him. That's right. You going to jail now. I found a clip. But do he think this game is going? We call this boo game. Do he think this gonna work on somebody? This elementary, you all are courageous. You all paused your life, and it's not lost on me. I see you. I commend you, man. Ain't nobody going delusional. Most folks that are narcissistic and self-indulged, they are not self-aware. They have no self-awareness. Like they don't even read the room. Like it's just like he don't realize that everybody in that courtroom is looking at him like he's the worst person on the planet. It's insanity. Let's continue.
And you guys had the guts to do it. Thank you for that. Thank you for taking pretty much a month and setting it to the side for this. I know it's probably not proper, but you guys deserve a round of applause if you could get one.
Man, this man is clueless to even think this is going to work. Like, you know how delusional you got to be to even think that this is going to work. I would have just said, listen, I throw myself on the mercy of the court. I don't know what happened to me. You could say demonic possession. I was on drugs. Something you could say, but you can't. Ain't no way the world is gonna work. You still listen. You still going to prison. Like you not. Like you going to prison. But maybe instead of 600 years, they give you 300. I don't know. But you going to prison for the rest of your life. It's a wrap. You going to prison. Let's go to the video. Okay, hold on. Okay, let's watch. Now, tell me what y'all think. That's the first person. Look. They blurring it out. You see him? You see him? We look at it again. So you see, here's the first person. No total disregard. He going through the crowd like it's nothing. You see him slowing down, plowing through, speeding up. He's running over folks right up back there.
Or Erica or Nick as he was leaving?
He told Erica he was.
The basis for your objection, you said objection, right?
Is hearsay and irrelevant.
Is it being offered for the truth of the matter asserted?
Well, it's a statement.
Right. The car, if you watch, the car literally goes up because it's going over people. Like, so he can't say it was an accident. You know, the car literally went over. Like, you see it. They've taken down so many videos. When it first came out, there's a lot of unedited videos out there, and it was just horrific. Good night, Miss Brooks. Let's continue.
By a party opponent, so it's not hearsay.
Oh, it's his statement. Sorry. I think I misheard what she said. All right. The objection is overruled. If it's, she may testify as to words that you spoke on this occasion. Go ahead.
He told Erica that he was gonna find her and he's gonna kill her.
Could we pull up Exhibit 5 for the witness, please?
Act like you know me. People like you don't, y'all
Mr.
you
Brooks.
don't know nothing about where I come from.
Mr. Brooks.
You push me, dog. Don't push back then.
Mr. Brooks.
Don't push back. Push me
Mr. Brooks, we have.
Breaking news off the top here at noon. The pretrial hearing for the Waukesha parade suspect comes to a halt after an outburst by the defendant in the courtroom.
political stuff y'all got going on. It's all this on me.
Okay, Mr. Hands on you. Brooks, we have to.
Then eventually ordering him out of the courtroom.
Mr. Brooks, we have to continue with this hearing.
No, I'm worried about, man, don't put your hand on me, dude.
Nobody put their hands on you.
Yeah, they better not put their hand on me.
Okay, Mr. Brooks, you need to look at me for a minute, okay?
Why? To listen to all this political stuff y'all got going on?
Now this comes as Brooks First, police conducted defense team's request potential insanity coached during and a letter sent by his attorney between Brooks and his mom last month. The Waukesha County District Attorney's Office ordered the search following a conversation between Brooks and his mom in which they discussed conversations and a letter sent by his attorneys talking about how to work with a doctor to be coached during a mental health evaluation for a potential insanity plea. The judge also denied the defense team's request to throw out the first interviews Waukesha police conducted with Brooks. They claim Brooks was coerced, but after reviewing recordings, the judge says Brooks was read his rights and detectives acted appropriately in those first interviews. Earlier today during the hearing, shortly before the outburst, the Waukesha County District Attorney alerted the court that Brooks was sleeping.
Briefly, Judge, I've observed that for about the past 40 minutes, Mr. Brooks appears to be asleep in the courtroom. I don't know if he's just being disrespectful, uninterested, or if he's not feeling well.
Now, things will
So thanks, Bree. Y'all don't forget to like the video. Now, when he had his attorneys there, he was going to try to do the insanity plea, but they caught him on the phone talking with his mom and his lawyer, you know, about trying to play crazy. So that didn't work. So then he tried to figure he going to represent himself and get a mistrial. But it's not. But it's not mental. It's not mental health though. Nothing wrong with him. There's nothing wrong with him. He's a manipulator and a narcissist. Nothing wrong with him. He's trying to get over. The man ain't crazy. Talking about y'all better not put y'all hands on me. Then 2 seconds later, he getting escorted out the courtroom. Man, get out of here. What is he gonna do in prison? Come on. This is the craziest thing ever.
When you left Stephanie's.
All right, this is gonna be the last one. This one he got interrogated.
It was still daytime. It was still freaking watched the game and just fucking went home.
Right.
Because
And that's the thing. What do they teach us in Christianity? Darrell, that they teach us that we're broken, right? We're sinners. Even when we're born sinners. We're broken. Darrell, that they teach us
fucking went home. I can do better.
God. Hands on you, right? Okay.
So wait.
Hold on. Let me
Oh,
let me
okay.
go.
I'm sorry. I just had a question, but
You talked about being a religious man, right?
I can do better.
God.
I can
We all
definitely do
could.
better.
We all could.
I'm not.
We all could.
No,
That's
it's
why.
different.
That's why.
Yesterday was a mistake. I should have just freaking watched the game and just fucking went home.
Right.
Because
And that's the thing. What do they teach us in Christianity? Darrell, that they teach us that we're broken, right? We're sinners. Even when we're born sinners. We're broken. That's why
Psalm
we're
51,
so
17.
thankful for God's grace and forgiveness, right? When we ask for it, even though we don't deserve it, but when we ask for it, He gives it. All right. You're a father. You got 3 children. 18, 14, and 7.
Yes, sir.
All right. You got a mama that raised you well, and a God you believe in.
Absolutely.
All right. And all of them are. Here's the thing they'll all want is to tell that you're telling the absolute whole truth and nothing but the truth, right?
Absolutely.
So help you God, right?
Absolutely.
Sound familiar? We've all heard that, right? And I just have concerns if I fact check that Darrell's not telling me the truth. You don't have a car, so Marcus had to bring you out. You don't own a car, your mom doesn't own a car, right? So Marcus had to bring you out. So why did we find you with a car key in your pocket?
So So he get interrogated, and well, 5'8", 140, and the guy said that he was 5'9", 160. So the guy that was pretty accurate on how he described him. He tried to make a big deal, like, do I look 5'9" and 160 anyway? But now he's telling them he don't have a car, but when they pick him up and go in his pockets, empty your pockets, going to the police station, he has car keys in his pocket. Now the car keys in his pocket go to the car that he used to kill those people with. Same car, like it's so. Again, most people that are self-indulged are not aware. They don't understand details because they figure folks are gonna listen to them based on who they are. But when you get in the real world, folks don't know you. Folks don't care about that stuff. So, yeah, they find him with the car keys in his pocket. Let's continue.
It wasn't in my pocket. I don't even know where they said that was laying on the ground.
That's yours.
Yeah. It should have been by my ID.
Yeah, it's yours. It's your car key, okay? Because it goes to a Ford Escape in your mom's name and covered in Waukesha. Okay. Listen, Darrell. I'm trying to be as open and honest with you as I can be. Christian, and believe me, I'm not perfect. And neither are you. I'm not calling you a terrible man. I'm not saying you were out yesterday hunting, and just let me finish. But you did not walk to that house. You did not walk to that house. You did not come here in a tan Kia. You didn't.
And who?
You did not come out here in a tan Kia. Okay? You got a key in your pocket to a car, your mom's name. Okay? And that key works for that car. For the love of God, Marcus. For yourself, for your family. You know what happened yesterday. For the people. Tell me what happened.
With what?
With the car.
What am I being
With
investigated
your mom's
for?
car. You were driving goofy. People called in. You drove out of there in your mom's car, the red car. You're driving a little silly, probably because you're pissed. You met up with Erica in the car at the park. Now, initially, I believe you told us the gas station. Do I have that right? And then you changed it to the park. So that's an
No, I said the house was by the gas station. When you said what was by.
You said you went and it was by a gas station. That's where you met her.
No. I said I met her at the park.
Okay.
At a
Well,
creek.
you met her,
I did say that.
You met her at the park in your mom's car. A red Ford Escape. She got in, you talked, and what you're telling me seems pretty consistent, that there was nothing physical between the two of you.
No, I didn't. No.
But you met her in the car.
I didn't put my hands on her.
Yes, he did put his hands on her. Black eye, but like her eye was completely shut. He did put his hands on her.
But you met her in the car.
What's going on, man?
Asking you a question.
You
were out there
just tell
driving
me
kind
what's
of crazy.
going on.
Some people said you were driving kind of crazy. We got reports of it. You got the key, you got the car. Did you take the car or did your mom give you the car? I know you know what car I'm talking about.
I just want to know. So
some people
now
reported all those
okay,
people out there
no.
reported that car driving a bit erratic.
I know what you're saying. All I'm saying is this. We all been straight up with each other. You knew it was more to what you was asking me yesterday. That would explain the FBI and all that, right?
They're not here today. So if it's that big a deal, you don't see them here today.
Come on, Kurt. We been. just met in the car. We been cool, man, the whole time. If I did something
That's why they were here. But do you see them here today? They're not here today.
yeah, but y'all lied to me, man. You made it seem like they just come for no reason.
Well, here's the thing, Darrell.
And I'm like, what if it's
Listen. So what I want to do is try to give us all a chance to reset. But you were seen in the car driving kind of acting a fool. Okay. In basically the same area that you've already been able to describe to me. I'm just trying to figure out how and why it happened. What made you tear out of there? What made you so mad where you're like, fuck it, and you raced on out of there. And then people go, man, he's driving around here kind of fast.
all I want to know. Like I said, y'all been cool with me. Am I charged with anything? That's all I want to know. I'll tell you anything you want to know.
Right now.
Listen.
You were driving it?
Listen. No, I don't drink.
You said you had a couple cold ones during the game.
No, yeah, but I'm.
Listen, this man just said, I had a few beers and then said, I don't drink. So basically, I don't know how this is going to end. I mean, I know how it's going to end, but I'm just curious to see how he's going to respond when they read those guilty verdicts. If he gonna nut up, because the first day of trial he took his shirt off, so he tried to play crazy at first, but that wasn't going to work. But the man literally just said, I had a few beers, then just said, I don't drink. You know, but I'll be back in a few days. I got one more video before I close out. Just something funny I saw on Instagram. Now, this is what the military has come to. We're all doomed. I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. Whatever war we got coming up, it's a wrap. They're gonna flood the military with this, and they're not gonna fight. See, what woke folks do is woke people protest on things used to protect society. So what they're going to do is they're all going to be in the military and they're going to say, we're putting down our guns as a sign of peace. I'm just telling you what these folks are going to do. The military is going to end up being like this, and it's going to be over. And yes, they have to be brown people because every agenda has a brown face attached to it. All of them. All of them got a brown face attached to them.
How many children do you have, Miss Darrell?
Objection, Your Honor.
Hold on, let me. I'm gonna show you this last clip. What was that? What was that guy's name that Joe Biden was talking to? That the guy from TikTok. That's his name, Dylan. All I'm saying is this, right?
Problem with that. The individuals in Congress got those. But what we've provided for is
When people started watching and then
I'm gonna just ask you all a question. I'm gonna ask you all a question. How does this transgender person from social media get to sit down with with Biden? So let me get this straight. We had Cardi B sit down with Joe Biden. Now we have Dylan Mulvaney sit down with Joe Biden. So I'm gonna ask you a question. So we know that Cardi B is a rapper, so that would give her the cachet to sit down with Joe Biden. But what's giving this trans person, what does this person do? The person is claiming to be trans on TikTok. How do they get an audience with President Biden? What you all don't realize, or many of y'all might realize it, but the trans community is going to be at the top of the food chain. They're already setting it up. You're not going to be able, they're going to be a protected class of people. That means they're going to be able to terrorize with nothing happening to them. Nothing. They're going to terrorize people. This guy is sitting in front of Joe Biden and nobody can tell me why. Why is he in front of Joe Biden? What qualifies him to be in front of Joe Biden? Tell me what. What are you talking about? What is this guy talking about to be able to get an audience with Joe Biden? What does he do? That's right. No reproduction. Now think about this. He's a grown man. Now you said that, Amy. He's a grown man identifying as a girl. Listen to me. He is a grown man identifying as a girl. So what does that mean? If we accept that a man is a woman, then we have to accept that a man is a girl. And if we accept that a man is a girl, now that man can mess with children his or her or their age. Age meaning what they identify as. Age meaning what they identify as. This is what happens when you get rid of the truth, because getting rid of the truth is getting rid of God. So if a man can be a woman, then that means that a man can be a girl. And if a man can be a girl, then a man can date people his or her or their own age. Now, a child can identify as a man or a woman. Hear me out. If a child can identify as a boy or a girl, that means they can identify as a man or a woman, which means they can date someone that's their own age or the age they identify as. This is how they're going to usher in pedophilia. This is how they're going to let the children decide. Let's see what he has to say.
Numbers kept getting higher, I realized quickly how public my transition would be. Of course, I knew that there would be backlash and negativity. I try to not let the internet's words hurt me or my spirit. But do you know what does hurt? Seeing people in power and authority figures creating laws and bills that are actively trying to harm us transhumans, especially trans children. Our lives.
Trans, listen to what he just said. He said trans humans and specifically trans children. They want the children. This man said trans human. So now we see the agenda. The agenda is going to be transhuman, transgender, everybody else.
To become political talking points. Lawmakers in many states want to exclude us from participating in sports or getting proper health care. Some folks want to decide where we can use the bathroom. No one should have fear living in a state that they call home while being true to themselves. No one should have their lives put in danger because of who they are inside. That's why I'm sharing my story with the world. I'm using my platform to stand up for my community and for any of the little Dylans that deserve a clear path to their true identity.
Mr.
He looks like one of those vampires from Twilight, you know. He like a transgender vampire. Listen, he like one of the vampires from Twilight. Like this dude is a trans vamp. What is it? Trans vamp? This is absolutely ridiculous, man. I just want to hear what he's going to say real quick.
President, this is my 221st day of publicly transitioning.
God love you.
Thank you. I am extremely privileged to live in a state that allows me access to the resources I need, and that decision is just between me and my doctors. But many states have lawmakers that feel like they can involve themselves in this very personal process. Do you think states should have a right to ban gender-affirming healthcare?
I don't think any state or anybody should have the right to do that. As a moral question and as a legal question. I just think it's wrong. You know, I think I was saying before we started that my son, my deceased son, used to be the Attorney General of the state of Delaware. He passed the broadest piece of legislation that he, as Attorney General, was able to convince the legislature and the governor to sign that dealt with all gender-affirming capability. I mean, there's a lot of, you know, sometimes they try to block you from being able to access certain medicines, being able to access certain procedures.
Man, what? Listen, why aren't black? Now listen now. Joe Biden sat down with the black leaders and said, if y'all don't agree with me, to hell with y'all, and y'all better give it to Hispanics. But when he sit down with the trans person, and this trans person ain't got no rank in society. This trans person is nobody, just a person on social media. Sitting down with the president, and he mumbling and explaining himself to a TikTok influencer. Good night, Bree. This is crazy. He's explaining himself to a TikToker. Now you see another component. How your social credit score is going to be linked to your social media. They're going to make you get a social media account to have a social credit score. All this stuff intertwines. They want the transhumans and the transgenders, then everybody else get in line. You know, with the LGBTQs and then the, you know, the liberals and then, you know, immigrants and then, you know, black folks, y'all way at the bottom. Conservatives and black people are at the bottom. Matter of fact, conservative whites are going to be at the very bottom. And then black folks going to be above them. So that's going to be the food chain or the pecking order. But the crazy part of all this is Joe Biden is mumbling and fumbling, explaining himself to a transformer, a trans from Twilight vampire, talking about he's a girl. They coming for the children. Listen. Yeah, he wants to run again, but imagine the decadence of people to vote for this man, knowing his platform is not about them. It's foolish. And black people have no excuse. I'm talking to black folks. Y'all have no excuse. Joe Biden has given you all nothing. And now he's sitting down with TikTokers from TikTok just because they're trans. No other qualifications. He has given black folks nothing. And y'all ain't said a word. So guess what? You get what you deserve. Yes, and TikTok is ran by the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party. Yes. Listen, I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. It's kind of long. I'll be back maybe on Thursday. I thank y'all so much. I love y'all, and y'all have a blessed night. Thank you.